Tonight on CTV News at 6, tough decisions for Beaumont businesses. Skyrocketing rent threatens entrepreneurs, including a celebrated restaurant.
We're putting in so much effort and so much to try and make it work.
Fans banned for the first baseball games in a new Spruce Grove Stadium.
It just seems shady, for a simple baseball situation.
And
Osorio drives it in!
Edmonton may not be hosting any FIFA World Cup matches, but dozens of watch parties are planned.
Shows that Edmonton is a big event city and not just a hockey city.
Nice little break from the rain today. However, there are showers and scattered thunderstorms in the forecast for each of the next 4 days.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. Skyrocketing commercial rent is forcing several small business owners in Beaumont to make tough decisions: pay up, relocate, or close. As Amanda Anderson reports, some owners say it's time for government to intervene.
Chartier, a rustic French-Canadian restaurant, has been a staple on 50th Street in Beaumont for 10 years. A decade its owner says was filled with hurdles.
So everybody's facing economic challenges.
Instead of celebrating its anniversary, Chartier faces a new challenge, a rent hike.
Comparable to areas of White Avenue or 124th Street in Edmonton, where the traffic volume and the just number of people in that area are significantly higher.
Sylvia Chevry says many small businesses in and around Centerville have seen rent go up 30 to 50%. Some doubled.
5 different businesses have been closed in the past 2 months.
A block away, Christine Nelson looks inside an empty storefront, a place she spent 5 years running a successful consignment store until it came time to renew the lease.
We were paying $25 a square foot, and the offer was $38, $39, $40 per square foot to renew. There's absolutely no way that I could have done it. It's completely unaffordable.
Beaumont's mayor says city staff will be asked to compare rent rates in neighboring communities with what's happening locally. She says commercial vacancies have dropped from 21% in 2023 to 4.6% as of April.
There's definitely a need to involve multiple layers of government in order to solve the problem. Right now there's actually tax deductions for the landlord if the building sits empty.
Shoppers are sad to see businesses they've come to love being forced to move or close.
We want to support these community members, but even our support can't keep them here when their rent is going up.
While Nelson was able to relocate her shop, Chartier has decided to roll the dice with a new lease, trying to stay optimistic.
We're putting in so much effort and so much to try and make it work.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Beaumont.
And we have reached out to the province and are waiting for a response. A man previously convicted in 2 church fires south of Edmonton is facing dozens of new charges. Police say between October and November 2025, 5 properties under construction were set on fire. Last week, police laid 27 charges against 40-year-old Peter Jones. They included arson with disregard for human life and break and enter to commit arson. In 2010, Jones was sentenced to 4 years in prison related to fires that destroyed the Wetaskiwin First United Church and St. John's Lutheran Church. Police have laid a second-degree murder charge in the death of a 74-year-old man. Monday, police say officers found the body of the senior in the area of 104th Ave and 122nd Street. Earlier, police were responding to a family dispute at a West Edmonton condo. While arresting a 36-year-old man at that scene, officers obtained information that led them to the body. Police have now charged the 36-year-old with second-degree murder. Police say the 2 men knew each other. And no charges have been laid after a man was hit by a vehicle in a parking lot and died. Thursday night, officers were called to a parking lot near Millwoods Road and 28th Avenue. They found an injured 23-year-old man who was declared dead by paramedics. Police say the man had previously approached a vehicle in the parking lot and there was some sort of confrontation. Police say as the driver was leaving, the man was inadvertently hit by the vehicle. No charges have been laid. Investigators do not believe the driver was speeding or intoxicated. Alberta's Internet Child Exploitation Unit has uncovered one of the largest collections of child sexual exploitation content in its history. Police say more than 500,000 photos and videos were found on several hard drives seized from a home in Okotoks last month. Police aren't sure who the victims are or where they're from. Okotoks RCMP helped with the investigation. It began in January when the RCMP's National Child Exploitation Crime Center shared a tip with Alert. The team says more than 500,000 images and videos is just deeply disturbing because it likely was used to trade and fuel demand.
It is an incredible number, and to give it some context, when you look at both investigative agencies that operate out of Calgary and Edmonton, combined in the last 12 months, both units recovered over 600,000 images and videos.
The 35-year-old man is facing a number of charges. Alberta's government will begin rolling out 3-in-1 identification cards starting July the 2nd. The new driver's licenses and ID cards will include personal health numbers and a citizenship marker for Canadians. The mandatory marker will appear as a maple leaf with CAN on the card. Dual citizens will also get the marker. The Canadian Civil Liberties Association says the new card raises concerns about people's rights and privacy. The UCP government says it will streamline access to services and replace the old paper healthcare card. Some other changes include replacing the dinosaur image with a pump jack. The words Alberta strong and free and a mountain image are on the back. Independence referendums and complementary industries were on the speaking agenda as Alberta's Premier met with the leader of Quebec today. Danielle Smith says she wants to pitch the Eastern province on cooperation and partnership, and experts believe there's a lot of middle ground to mine. Tim Brooke explains.
Alberta's Premier was out east Wednesday for a meeting with the new Premier of Quebec.
We have the opportunity for an incredible collaboration and partnership on trade.
Thank you, and let's get to work.
The small language barrier aside, Danielle Smith and Christine Frechette say they're on the same page. Both want to make interprovincial trade simpler and partner in manufacturing, tech, agriculture, and of course, energy.
Alberta is keen to collaborate on an east-west energy corridor as discussion about energy, sovereignty, and security become increasingly relevant. This is something I look forward to discussing with Madame Frechette, who expressed her interest in the idea.
Smith told business leaders Quebec can be Alberta's gateway to Europe in the same way BC is its gateway to Asia. But out west, there are still questions about expanding that gateway.
We're waiting for the proponent to come forward with the route that they want to propose. That's how the MOU was structured, and that's how we will work with Alberta and British Columbia on this issue.
Any infrastructure, east or west, will need Indigenous partnership. And right now, many First Nations say separation sentiment isn't making them eager to do business.
It's a red flag. How do you expect to move any type of project forward here in our territories when we don't know who we're dealing with? You know, industry wants certainty.
Back in Quebec City, both premiers say there's a lot of common ground between their provinces, and experts believe Smith wants there to be even more.
Sometimes described as asymmetrical federalism. Quebec has its own pension plan. It has opted out of some federal programs while still getting money from the federal government. And that's clearly the model that Danielle Smith wants for Alberta.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
EPCOR says Edmonton's stormwater and drainage systems held up well to heavy rain over the past few days. EPCOR says it received 188 calls over 3 days related to ponding and pooling water in Edmonton. It says teams work 24/7 to respond to all of those calls. When it comes to flooding in homes, EPCOR says prevention is always the best method. EPCOR says after some major rain is a good time to do a check around the outside of your home.
You're looking for wherever there's any pooling or ponding water. That indicates you might have a bit of a trouble area that you might need to address as well. Taking a look in your sump pump, making sure that it's running still. Again, after a storm event is over, you can still have a time the ground's catching up. So again, it's normal to have your sump pump run for a period after a storm event.
EPCOR offers free inspections from flood prevention specialists who proactively look for any problems with your home. It's been a slow start to the seeding season for many farmers in northern Alberta. The rain has forced them to stop seeding, and now they're running out of time. As Evan Kenny reports, they could be waiting a while still.
It's quiet at this farmer's field near St. Paul, a bad sign this time of year. It's because of this.
Some guys have barely even started, some guys are just about finished, but this will put us back another week, 2 weeks.
Josh Robbie was about 2/3 of the way through seeding his 2,500 acres when the water started coming down. In his 20 years on the farm, he's never seen so much rain to start the season.
Maybe a few inches, but never 6. It's too bad it couldn't have been spread out over the month instead of one weekend.
Robbie and many other farmers in northern Alberta are having to change what crops they're planting.
It already has limited us to certain crops.
After a cold late spring, plus this moisture, wheat is off the table for many farmers. The window to plant canola is nearly closed.
You really don't know if you're going to have a late spring and an early fall, and that would be the most dangerous combination of all. And we have no way of predicting that at this point.
Farmers can still grow barley or oats, but they'll have to wait for the ground to dry, which won't happen soon.
They had as much rain in 3 days as they would normally get in April, May, and June combined. They probably get another 30 to 50 millimeters by the end of the weekend, most of that coming over the weekend.
Which will lead to a small yield, and the consequences will rain down on consumers.
It's just another thing that'll add to grocery prices. Because if a lot of the crops don't get seeded, or if they're flooded out, there just won't be as much grain.
Ag experts say while the conditions are poor for crops, the weather should benefit livestock farmers and their pastures. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
The summer of soccer is starting in Edmonton. Ice District will be switching from skates to cleats for nearly 100 World Cup watch parties. Connor Hogg is here with more. And Connor, where are people going to be able to go to watch those games?
Jeff, 17 World Cup watch parties will be held at Ice District's Fan Park. The events are family-friendly with food and both alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. Many more viewing parties will be held at the Moss Pit in Ice District Plaza, as well as a community kids soccer tournament. The turnout at Commonwealth Stadium Monday night inspired the size of the plans for these watch parties.
It sort of shows that Edmonton is a big event city and not just a hockey city.
Maybe not challenging the Oilers just yet, but that excitement is there and that cultural compassion and passion is there that it touches so many different people's lives.
Tim Adams of Free Play for Kids says the summer of soccer is going to be a big deal for a lot of kids in our city, many of whom look up to international soccer star Alphonso Davies, who grew up in Edmonton and whose story speaks to them. Adams says he hopes to see local cultural clubs at the larger events as well.
You see so much of it, of everybody, reflecting their birth country, reflecting their new home country, almost wearing the split jersey and being pulled back and forth. And that is the excitement of the World Cup, is that you get to celebrate who you are and who you're becoming.
In addition to all the other games, a Canada Day World Cup event will also happen in Fan Park. It'll feature music, food, cultural programming, and of course, live match viewing all day. The first Fan Park watch party is next Friday, and doors open at 11 a.m. And all of the Ice District World Cup outdoor events are free to get into. Jeff?
Connor, thank you. For a second straight season, the opening of the Energy City Cactus Rats' new ballpark has been delayed. While the team says it will play there this weekend, there's still no space for fans. CTV's Curtis Goodrum spoke with frustrated fans who purchased season tickets.
For more than 3 years, this Spruce Grove ballpark has been under construction. Since 2025, fans have been waiting to attend their first home game. The WCBL team revealed on social media fans will have to wait longer.
I think a lot of people they don't want to go anymore. It's too disappointing.
Sandy Miller was a season ticket holder.
It was so frustrating because they kept coming back and saying, oh no, we're going to open.
She spent more than $1,000 on season tickets. She says she received a full refund after months of phone calls and emails with the team.
It's a lot of money to have sitting there and not have anything, and them saying, well, no, we don't give refunds.
You'll be the first to receive the official opening day announcement. That was a year ago.
Jeff Anger is still looking for a refund. He says he was offered one and turned them down, hoping to give the team a second chance. Now, 1 year later, the Diamond still isn't open, and he wants his money back.
We really wanted to go there on our free time and have fun, play ball and whatnot. And that's a mistake on my part. I guess I shouldn't have had that much faith in humanity, heaven forbid. But here we are, no baseball.
The team says the ballpark will open for fans in phases this season, and if they miss any games, fans will be credited for tickets next year or will be given extra tickets for friends and family.
We were promised tickets for 2025 season. Here we are partway through 2026 and we ain't got a parking lot.
And you drive by and you don't see any change. It's just very, very disappointing.
Both Miller and Angus say they will not be buying season tickets again.
It's sad to say because I like ball, but I would never go again.
The team will be on the field this weekend. It says more updates will be coming. The team did not respond to CTV's request for an interview. Curtis Gudrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
Josh, a lot of Edmonton sports fields are closed to the public tonight, still drying out after all that rain.
Yeah, there's more rain in the forecast. This is not going to be a repeat of what we had, over the last couple of days. But showers and thunderstorms, at least a chance of them for each of the next 4 days, as we mentioned off the top of the newscast, and maybe even by the weekend, some steadier rain once again for parts of the province, especially off to the northeast, where, as you heard, the farmers need it the least. 15 degrees in Edmonton right now. Daytime high today, 16 degrees. 5 degrees cooler than average, but also 5 degrees warmer than yesterday. I think we'll be a little bit closer to 20 for a daytime high tomorrow and Friday, depending on the timing of the afternoon showers or thunderstorms. No showers or thunderstorms this evening, though. Just mostly cloudy skies. As you look outside, that's the CTV drone flying over Spruce Grove late this afternoon, early this evening. You can see that the breaks in the cloud cover were trying to open up. Just didn't happen. Just couldn't get a whole lot of sunshine today. It was a little sunnier off to the south and to the west. And then back through the Hinton area, we've had some scattered showers and thunderstorms. A couple thunderstorms still going up in the Grand Cache region. We won't see any of that tonight. Just partly cloudy skies through the overnight period. And about 10 degrees tomorrow morning to start the day. 19 or 20 for a high mid-afternoon tomorrow, and then around supper time and into the evening, a chance of some showers or thunderstorms. We'll talk more about that and the chances for some steadier rain on the weekend in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Still ahead, garage sale season gets an upgrade.
Last weekend, we had close to 200 garage sales, and we had almost 400 visitors come through the site.
A locally made website making it easier for sales seekers to find what they're looking for. And later. Local acro dance team gets the golden buzzer treatment on America's Got Talent.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Finding a garage sale this summer could become easier. Instead of driving around or scanning the papers, you can find addresses on a new website called YardQuest. Norman Issa spoke with the local founders.
Here's our main list for all of our events.
Connor Braun and Matthew Peace love a good garage sale. Finding them, though, was a source of frustration.
You'd go looking for garage sale signs and maybe you wouldn't find them, or you'd find one and follow it through a neighborhood. Only to get lost, right? And we wanted to find a way that was easier.
That led to them creating YardQuest, a website that allows people to post their garage, estate sale, or local market for free.
Last weekend, we had close to 200 garage sales, and we had almost 400 visitors come through the site.
Sellers can post their information, including hours and what they are selling. Addresses are blocked until the day of the sale.
It's not like other platforms where you have to go and delete your post. It just automatically deletes it. We don't save information.
Also included on the site are community garage sales, which are becoming more popular. There's one in the Terwillegar neighborhood later this month.
The traction, right? Everybody, people can go and they can multi-shop at different addresses on the map that may be very, very close to each other. They don't have to drive around all over the city. So it is a very convenient process.
As garage sale season is underway, these friends are excited to find new gems while thrifting.
We found a really old coin collection once, which was super great.
I found a really cool home pinball machine from the 70s called Star Explorers that I picked up for like $100.
Hoping others use their website to make the thrill of thrifting easier. You can learn more at yardquest.ca. Nairm Nisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
La Cité Francophone's annual concert series returns to Edmonton's French Quarter this week. The Patio concert starts its 9th season tomorrow night. The series showcases local musicians while giving listeners a chance to try food and drink from Café Bicyclette. Tickets for the series are available for less than $20. Organizers say all proceeds go directly to the performers.
Full food service by Café Bicyclette, and it really is an opportunity to showcase, highlight, and share our incredible wealth of musicians and talent here in the Edmonton and area with all of our great audiences that we have in this area.
Performances take place throughout the summer with more dates to come. Still ahead, side quest suggestions.
The truth is, everyone has niche skill sets that they can contribute to other people's lives.
The local coffee shop is borrowing an adventure game concept to create connections and community.
For meaningful, low-pressure, in-person interactions that can help to foster a sense of belonging.
Temperatures were a handful of degrees below average today, but we should be closer to 20 for daytime highs tomorrow and Friday. And enjoy a dry, although cloudy evening tonight. The next couple of evenings look wet once again. The forecast is next.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Edmonton Cafe is setting people up for small adventures through community bargaining. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti explains, it's a way for people to connect through hobbies without payment.
Connecting beyond a cup of coffee is something Adivora wants for his customers.
The quest board was kind of my idea to help bring the community together a little bit more through a more systematized means and a non-monetized means.
Labo Coffee's side quests are simple. Instead of asking for money, you can exchange services with someone by putting up a form on their bulletin board. It's called a side quest, a video game reference to an optional task.
The truth is, everyone has niche skill sets that they can contribute to other people's lives if you just take time to think about it a little bit more.
It can be anything from exchanging mixtapes to tarot card readings, something Andrea Didio offered up for some greenery.
I wanted plants. Spring was coming up and I wanted to get some saplings. We just got a little terrarium.
She posted this side quest and met up with a new friend at Labo.
I think it is really fun, thematically, that it's not just, you doing a favor for a favor. It's we're going on a quest and we're going to help these people out.
I feel like we've become really risk averse on social media, and anonymity kind of helps with that a lot. But I feel like this is a way to put yourself out there.
Vora says it's one of the reasons he created the side quests, to provide a more natural way for people to connect offline.
We do need to be innovative. We do need to be creative.
This clinical psychologist says in a digital world with long commutes and busy schedules, it's important to create your own opportunities.
For meaningful, low-pressure, in-person interactions that can help to foster a sense of belonging.
Some people don't even care about it. Some people just want to do it because they want to connect, and that's meaningful enough to them, right?
If you're looking to level up, you can sign up at Labo Coffee and choose an adventure of your own. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
So if you have plans to go side questing outside tonight, it's probably the night.
Yeah, and if you go tomorrow, bring an umbrella. Looks like there's a good chance of some showers. Watch that umbrella, though, if there are sparks of lightning out there tomorrow evening. River Valley Skycam is brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed Rider, it's free. 15 degrees and cloudy skies. Got to 16 for a high today. Temperatures in the low to mid-teens in eastern Alberta, low to mid-20s. Jasper and Grand Prairie. Grand Prairie, 25 degrees this afternoon. You'll be a little closer to 20 for a high tomorrow. Temperatures will get close to average, but still just slightly below average, it looks like, for Thursday, Friday. 17 and 16 for highs Saturday, Sunday. Good chance of some showers or some steadier rain there, especially early Sunday. And then it looks like we're back to the low 20s for most of next week. Although, as you can see, that's not really hot for this time of year. That's just back to around average. There's your big, deep, low pressure system. Surface low, upper level low. That's now bringing some steadier, heavier rain to parts of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. On the back edge of that, had some clearing west and southwest of the Edmonton area. Thought we might see a bit of that here in the Edmonton region. Didn't get any more than sunny breaks. There's your scattered showers and thunderstorms. This is really starting to get going now, just off to the north of Hinton. It will all stay in that area, it looks like, through the rest of this evening. So here in Edmonton, we'll probably get a bit of that clearing that you saw off to the west and southwest. That'll stick around for tomorrow morning, early in the morning. And then by about mid to late morning, it's mostly cloudy skies. Showers and thunderstorms off to the west and northwest through the afternoon hours. And I think by supper time and early evening, we'll see a bit of that start to roll into the Edmonton area. This trough of low pressure could bring showers and thunderstorms really top to bottom across the province. Could actually see potentially some severe thunderstorms in through parts of southern, then east central Alberta through the evening hours tomorrow. I think if we're going to see severe thunderstorms here in the Edmonton area, the better chance is going to be Friday. Friday, mix of sun and cloud to mostly cloudy skies in the morning. You see this starts to get going a little earlier in the day. So lunchtime and through the afternoon could see some showers and thunderstorms in through parts of central and north central Alberta. So we'll keep a close eye on that for the next couple of afternoons. Of course, if those showers, thunderstorms develop a little bit earlier in the day, I've got 19s in the forecast. Maybe we only get to 17 or 18. But it does look like temperatures are probably high teens for the next couple of days. 14 in Fort McMurray right now. We're in the mid-teens here in Edmonton at 15 degrees. Jasper's cooled to 22 after 25 this afternoon. It's 23 in Grand Prairie, and Red Deer's at 17 degrees. We'll hold steady around 14 or 15 for the next few hours, get a bit of clearing, and then back to mostly cloudy skies for tomorrow. Light wind and a high of about 19. There's your chance of showers and thunderstorms supper time and into the evening hours. Chance of some afternoon or evening showers and thunderstorms Friday. Again, this is highly dependent on the timing of that precipitation. And then Saturday, Sunday, still pretty high degree of uncertainty with the timing and location of the showers and steadier rain. I think for sure off to the northeast of us, you're going to get some heavier rain here in Edmonton. The best chance right now looks late Saturday and early Sunday to be fairly wet. But we'll keep an eye on that over the next little while. And as we mentioned off the top, back into the low 20s for next week.
Thank you, Josh. Parks Canada says it's working to determine when the trail leading to Bow Glacier Falls will reopen. Last June, a rock fall in the area killed 2 hikers and injured 3 others. Parks Canada says nothing could have prevented or predicted the slide. It was the result of geological forces common in mountainous areas. Officials say a geological assessment is ongoing and the trail remains off limits. Anyone caught going into the closure area could face a fine as high as $25,000 or even jail time. And the Spray Lakes Road near Canmore is closed. Monday night, a rock slide happened between the parking areas for Grassy Lakes and Goat Creek. No one was injured. The road is closed until further notice. 511 Alberta will have the latest updates. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, the Canada-U.S. trade war flares up.
This is designed to keep the U.S. with leverage, even if we renew USMCA.
More American tariff threats ahead of Canada-U.S. deal negotiations. Potentially record-breaking mountainside Canadian flag. Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by Green Tree Outdoor Living, where your dream yard becomes a reality. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The Trump administration is taking a new approach to global tariffs. The focus now is on curbing imports made with forced labor and a proposed new 10% tariff on Canada and other trading partners who allegedly failed to comply. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
Hello. Just hours after the U.S.-Canada trade minister said he had a positive meeting with Jamieson Greer, Greer's office said Canada is among the countries that could be hit with a new 10% tariff for failing to take action on forced labor. The failure of our most important trading partners to address the importation of goods made with forced labor is unacceptable. This creates a dynamic where American workers are forced to compete globally on an unlevel playing field, Greer said.
This is not a surprise.
The Prime Minister pointed out the vast majority of goods fall under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico free trade deal and won't be impacted. He says Canada supports the overall objective.
We made some changes earlier this year on things that candidly were not as effective, so there's ways we can change things legislatively. We'll be proposing that to the House in the coming weeks.
LeBlanc wouldn't answer whether he and Greer discussed Canada's move to allow some Chinese EVs into the market.
We don't discuss publicly the content of private conversations or private discussions.
U.S.-Canada expert Christopher Sands says the U.S. is intentionally moving some trade irritants outside CUSMA.
The good news is that might mean the USMCA could move as far as renewal, or that the negotiations could be more constructive going forward. The bad news is this is designed to keep the U.S. with leverage, even if we renew USMCA, because we have these other issues that we could use to impose tariffs on Canada.
Now, these tariffs aren't in place just yet. Experts say important to point out there is a process. The USTR will hold hearings about them July 7th. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
Ottawa is demanding Canada's broadcasting regulator review a decision that could lead to Canadians paying more for streaming services. The demand that large foreign streaming services spend more on Canadian programming is also being called a U.S. trade irritant. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports.
The federal government appears to be backing away from its fight to force streaming giants to pay more for Canadian content, one day after what Canada called positive trade talks in Washington.
It's no secret to anyone that's been paying any attention to this that the USTR has identified these issues as a trade issue. It would be disingenuous to suggest that this is the single issue. The reality is we're impatient to make sure that this sector stays vital and stays supported.
Last month, the CRTC announced it was tripling the amount companies like Netflix and Disney had to pay for Canadian content, increasing fees from 5% of their Canadian revenue to 15%, a move the Conservatives strongly opposed.
When we debated this in the House of Commons, the Liberals faux-pas us. They made it sound like it was no big deal, that this tax was being widely accepted. That's not true.
Days after saying they couldn't act, Ottawa is now asking the CRTC to review that decision, saying it could increase costs for consumers.
It's actually good to see the government admitting that some of their the choices that they've made in terms of the legislation, in terms of the regulations, are actually going to have downstream impacts on consumers.
But many experts say it's about more than affordability. It's about appeasing the Americans who have repeatedly called the Online Streaming Act a trade irritant.
The CRTC's move was largely seen as provocative, an annoyance, an irritant to those trade negotiations. And so essentially what the federal government is doing is removing that annoyance from the playing field.
The streaming companies' fees were supposed to help Canadian producers, but no money has ever gone out. It's all been tied up in the courts. To help that industry, the Canadian government today announced a $600 million investment. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
In one of the most serious flare-ups since the ceasefire took hold, Iran launched missile attacks on Kuwait and Bahrain, while the U.S. launched strikes on an Iranian target. Kuwait says one person was killed and dozens more injured after an Iranian attack struck civilian sites across the country, including Kuwait International Airport. Meanwhile, Bahrain's military says it intercepted 3 missiles and several drones. This as the U.S. carried out what it calls self-defense strikes on Iran's Qeshm Island, targeting a military station. Ukraine targeted a major piece of Russia's energy infrastructure today. Ukrainian drones struck one of the country's largest oil terminals near St. Petersburg overnight. The attack came just hours before President Vladimir Putin hosted world business and political leaders for Russia's annual economic forum. Well, following mounting criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump, the top U.S. diplomat says the United States remains engaged in the NATO alliance.
The United States is still in the NATO alliance, and we'll be there in Turkey to talk about all of these topics. The president himself will be attending the next NATO meeting of heads of state, where all these points will be made clear. We're still in NATO, but NATO needs significant changes, and the president has made that clear.
And
he's very disappointed in NATO.
Trump has long argued for reforms to NATO while pressuring allies like Canada to meet defense spending targets Ottawa now has under the Carney government. Trump has intensified criticism of some allies in particular, like Spain, for denying use of their air bases for the war against Iran. Asked about Trump's repeated demand that the U.S. take control of Greenland, Marco Rubio said the semi-autonomous territory remains part of Denmark, quote, for now. The Vancouver skyline now includes a new landmark, and the people behind it are hoping it will land them a Guinness World Record. A giant Canadian flag is now on display at Grouse Mountain. The resort says it's the largest flag ever unfurled on a mountain in Canada. It was installed to welcome visitors ahead of the FIFA World Cup. It's roughly the size of 2 football fields. It took a team of 100 people to install it on the ski run. Still ahead, quick thinking.
That little guy was he was going to have a hard time getting out of there.
A group of Alberta friends jump into action to rescue a stranded moose calf.
Programming brought to you by Alberta iGaming Corporation. For integrity, for fun, for Alberta.
Thursday on Your Morning, the importance of talking about money early with your children. And we talk with a doctor about common women's health issues during menopause, what is normal, and when it's time to seek professional advice.
Checking on the markets, the Canadian dollar took a bit of a dip today, now sitting just slightly above 72 cents US. Oil was up more than $2, closing around $96 a barrel. Gold is down 53. On the stock market, the TSX lost 367 points, the Dow Jones down 620 on the day. Alberta is spending $4 million on a new pilot program to help trade workers access more flexible training opportunities. The 2-year pilot will allow eligible workers to prepare for certification while staying on the job. The program also aims to help fill labor shortages across Alberta. The jobs minister says the province is doing what it can to support people in the trades and to help them move up in their careers.
So economically, there are just simply barriers. The same way that anyone who has to go to school has to, come up with their tuition and take that time and dedicate it. The same is true for our tradespeople. But we don't think there should be a barrier for people who have already attained a journey person trade to upskill. We think we should be breaking those down.
Registration for the program is now open. Ottawa has approved a plan to see captive whales stuck in the now defunct Marineland amusement park transferred to aquariums in the U.S. and Spain. Ottawa has issued the first round of permits needed to relocate the animals. More approvals are expected before the move takes place. The government has yet to decide whether taxpayer dollars will be used to help relocate the animals. The approval follows the deaths of 20 whales at the park since 2019, including 19 belugas and 1 killer whale. Tim Hortons is shutting down its latest credit card program just a few years after launching it. The company emailed customers to say the program will be shut down October the 1st. It says the cards will still work after that, but they'll be managed by Neo Financial, and transactions won't earn Tim's Rewards points. This wasn't Tim's first credit card program. The coffee and donut chain partnered with CIBC in 2014 for its Double Visa card, which was discontinued in 2019. The owners of Zellers plan to take the brand's relaunch national, starting with 2 new stores in Ontario. The first new Zellers store opened here in Londonderry Mall back in October. The owners say in addition to 2 new stores in Toronto and Windsor, they're looking at spaces in other markets including Calgary, Vancouver, and Ottawa. Like the Edmonton store, the new locations will carry clothing, home goods, luggage, and seasonal items. The new stores will also sell snack foods and toys. Fans of heated Rivalry got the chance to order the hit show's iconic Team Canada fleece today, and it sold out fast. The $356 fleece sold out just a few minutes after becoming available for a pre-order from retailer Province of Canada. A similar fleece was worn by BC's Hudson Williams on the show. 10% of proceeds will go to You Can Play. The organization addresses homophobia and other forms of discrimination in hockey. A Calgary man says quick thinking by his friend led to the rescue of a stranded moose calf. Stuart Gray spotted the calf while out for a walk on his Millerville ranch last week. He says the animal was very young, likely only a few weeks old. He called a friend who moved in to pull it out of the mud and haul it to safety.
So unless you're standing right on top of a root ball, the reeds there, you're plunging down quite a bit. So that little guy was he was going to have a hard time getting out of there.
Gray says the calf first walked up to his bull, then realized its mistake. He says he's certain its mom was waiting nearby, and they reconnected soon after. Coming up next, an Edmonton acro dance team gets a helping paw to put on a golden buzzer-worthy performance on America's Got Talent.
We're hoping to add new dogs every single round so that you're going to see something new every time you watch the show.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV. Programming brought to you by Basement Systems Edmonton. Contact us today for all things basement-y.
Earlier this week, we brought you the story of the acro crew's America's Got Talent debut. At the time, they didn't reveal their special guest stars. CTV's Moses Waldu reports on the canine crew that helped take the performance to the next level.
Days on the acreage are quiet for Jennifer Fraser and her team of dancing dogs. But not long ago, these were the scenes on the set of America's Got Talent.
We got a standing ovation from the judges. Howie was just shaking his fist. He was so excited. Simon had a huge smile on his face.
The first episode was released Tuesday. Fraser's dogs gave viewers a performance they won't forget. A combination of tumbling pups paired with a dance crew who know a thing or two about acrobatics.
Sometimes, acros might go a little different here or there, right? But yeah, it was challenging, but it was really fun.
In show business, they always say never work with animals and never work with kids. Well, I said, screw that. Let's put them together on the biggest stage in the world.
But Fraser wanted to dream big. The world-renowned dog trainer and Guinness World Record holder came up with the idea a few years after qualifying herself for America's Got Talent in 2020. But
COVID hit and they couldn't get us over the border. They tried to get a team up to Canada to film us. Didn't happen.
Searching across the province, Fraser managed to get the Supernova acro team from Edmonton to sign on. And judging by the positive reaction, the duo are a perfect fit.
Together, it's pretty magical and just something that people haven't seen before, and I think that was a huge selling point.
The show-stopping performance earned them the golden buzzer, meaning they will move straight to the quarterfinal stage.
I think you could see in the younger ones' faces for sure, we were not expecting that at all, and it was such an amazing, so special moment for all of us to be able to experience that all together.
Now the dancers and Fraser have time to cook up something special later this summer when they get to do it again. This time it will be live for the world to see.
We're hoping to add new dogs every single round so that you're going to see something new every time you watch the show.
Moses Wildu, CTV News, Strathmore.
Yes, good girl.
Forecast is temperatures tomorrow should be a little bit closer to 20 for a daytime high, and we'll be in that 20-degree range again on Friday. You get a chance of some scattered late-day showers and thunderstorms both tomorrow and again on Friday. I think there's a decent chance that late Saturday and into Sunday, especially Saturday night into Sunday morning, you may see some steadier rain. Dry evening tonight, though, which might be a rarity here over the course of the next 3 or 4 days. A little bit warmer next week, though, back into the low 20s.
All right. Thanks, Josh, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, check out our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Have a great evening, everyone.
Go next.